Hey guys, Brian here. Welcome to vlog number 19. So right now I'm on my way to the canyons, one of the local canyons here in my area. For today's video, I'm gonna wanna just go through a quick little POV footage, at the same time a quick review of how I feel about the Corolla on the canyons, and also if the Corolla, or at least if I feel if the Corolla is the best daily driver on the market right now. So I think you guys are going to want to stay tuned and hear that out. But for now, enjoy the POV. I'll catch you guys on the other side.
With your love rise above, with your love rise above, you know ever when you're near, I have no fear. When you in front of me, you know. With your love, I know, you know, when you're near, I have no fear. When you in front of me, you know. With your love, I know, you know, when you're near, I have no fear. When you in front of me, you know.
Jeffrey.
Alright, we're back. So let me make this quick before we run out of sunlight here. So pretty much the Corolla. How do I feel as my daily driver? How do I feel as it being my daily driver? Is it the best daily driver on the market today? Honestly, I mean, I guess if you really want to do it all car, right? a car that can handle the track, a car that can handle the canyons, a car that can do the snow and not leave you stranded, then I think this is the car for you. You know, if you're someone that really likes driving hard, really likes really pushing the car, you know, then obviously it's a no-brainer. This is one of those cars that's just once in a lifetime, and it being all-wheel drive really just adds to the excitement of the car. But obviously there's other options out there. Like, even if you could find a Type R, you know, for MSRP, I feel like that's a solid choice. And I feel like they have their differences, but I feel like for the most part, this is definitely a step down from the Type R. But can it handle on its own? I think so. You know, I think the Type R is definitely engineered to handle the Nürburgring. So with that in mind, you know, there's definitely a lot more sauce added to that car and that platform in general. But do I feel like is it the best daily driver out there? Like, should you go out and buy one right now? Honestly, if you guys are in the market for it and you guys are kind of in between, I guess it really depends on what you're in between. That's a conversation that I would love to have with you guys if you guys are kind of interested in having that conversation. Just because for me, it's a no-brainer, and I'm definitely taking the GR Corolla over pretty much almost anything. But I think it's practical. It has a lot of cargo space. You could put the rear seats down and you have a lot of space. You could throw a roof rack on it. I mean, you could do that with most cars anyways. But it's all-wheel drive. It can handle the snow. It could last you all year round. It has that Toyota reliability, even though Toyota has a little stain on its name right now. I feel like that's more of a rare case than it is an actual, you know, solidified thing. I hope that these cars are going to stay reliable for the long term. But is it the best? I think, as if you have one car and one car only, then yes. But I think, is there better cars that are doing track than it? Yes, there is a lot of better cars than it when it comes to like an all-out race car. But are those cars going to have the cargo space and, you know, the livability? You know, there's the Golf R. The Golf R is a solid choice. If you could just kind of suck up that tech, it's probably going to leave you, you know, leave you with a headache at some point. You know, the Golf R is a solid choice. The last gen Golf R is a solid choice. The GTIs are solid choices. Civic SIs could be solid choices, but it depends on what your price range is. You know, if you want, I feel like if you're cross shopping all of these models, every car has its drawbacks, and every car has its ups and every car has its downs. You know, if you want the Volkswagen, then go for it, but you're gonna kind of run into those check engine lights and all of those little issues that those cars come with, which, you know, might not be something that you're gonna really face with this car. I mean, so far has been very good with me, and I feel like it's gonna continue to be very good with me. But I feel like, you know, long term it's going to be good for a long time. Like, I can't see this car ever leaving me in a point where I have a headache, you know. And I think that comfortability is going to be something that's going to kind of go a long way when it comes to your daily driver. You know, like, you could always have that headache car and have another car on the side and treat that car as like your race car versus, you know, your everyday car. But I feel like this truly can do it all. You know, like, I feel like maybe Type R's can do that as well. But I feel like at the same time, you know, Type R's are pretty nice, like, especially interior wise. Like, that's not an interior that you're going to want to throw, you know, your dogs in the back seat, or you're not going to really want to throw, you know, your dirty clothes in the trunk just because, you know, you had a rough day at work or something. You got a lot of, like, if you're like, especially if you're like a mechanic or you're someone that works, you know, and gets dirty and you work outside, or you get sweaty and things like that. Like, that's what you gotta kind of keep in mind as well, is like, what interior is gonna be the most, you know, durable, the easiest to clean. And I feel like the Corolla kind of embodies, like, it's not so nice to the point where you don't want to get it dirty. It's not so rough where you're like, oh, this is like garbage, you know. Like, it's kind of that nice middle, and I feel like that's kind of what makes it the perfect daily driver. I mean, and then the thing is too, like, if you're looking for fuel economy, look somewhere else. This thing gets 24 miles per gallon, which is pretty good for 300 horsepower, you know. My STI is at a whopping 11 miles per gallon on E85, so I can't really talk with that car. So this car is like a Prius to me, you know. But there's definitely better options out there. There's definitely other things to consider, you know. But I feel like for your everyday, your one and done, this gotta be it for you, you know, or this gotta be, you know, at least one of the top choices, just because every other car I feel like on the market right now is either too nice inside or it's going to be a little unreliable. And I feel like if you're going to put a lot of miles on the car, you know, like this is going to be the car to do it, just because I could see these cars lasting 200 to 300,000 miles, while most like Volkswagens would probably give you a good 65,000. You know, most Subarus are going to give you like a good 65 to 100,000. Most I'm trying to think of anything else. Like the Civics are gonna last you the Civics are gonna last you those miles, but the interior, you know, those red seats, you're gonna really either invest really good on some good cleaners. You're gonna really be anal about your car, and that's no way to live in an everyday car too. Like if you're gonna be getting mad at your passengers for, you know, drinking coffee in your car or something, or spilling some candy in between the seats, you know, like everyday things that might ruin your interior. But if you have a black interior, you know, like that's not going to be really a problem. But if you have, you know, beautiful red interior, beautiful red carpets, you know, things that might actually stain, you know, or the stains are going to be a lot more noticeable, you know, that becomes a real debate, especially on the long haul. You're going to own that car for, if you're going to drive that car every day for the next 5 years to, you know, 10 years, how's that interior going to hold up? Is it going to be nice and red, you know, just like you bought it, or is it going to fade? You know, like those type of things are things that you definitely got to consider as a daily driver. You know, at least for me, I'm a mechanic. There's going to be days where I get fuel spilled all over me. I'm going to, you know, not be able to shower at work. I'm going to have to go in the car and drive home, you know, all pissed off and smelling like fuel, or I'm going to get oil all over my face, you know, like those are things that I deal with, not every day, but, you know, at least once or twice every a year, maybe, you know, like it's the blue collar living, right? Like that's the life I choose. It pays, you know, it pays enough to pay all the bills. And so I kind of, you know, I enjoy doing it. And it's something that, you know, like I know when I buy cars, it's something that I really consider. It's something that I feel like you guys should definitely consider. Just because I feel like when I see all the comparisons on what's the best daily driver, you hear about all the creature comforts, you hear about all the tech that the Golf brings, you hear about how nice the interior as like a Civic is, but those guys aren't thinking about the everyday. Like, let's say you have a kid, you know, or two kids, and your kids want to get a Happy Meal and they're drinking a Sprite in the back seat. They spill that Sprite or that Coke all over those red seats. You know, like, is that really a daily driver? Are you gonna be the best dad in that car, or mom? You know, like I feel like me personally, like I'm gonna tell those kids that they're gonna have to wait to get home, you know, and I feel like that's fun. It's fun for a little bit, but long term, you know, if you don't have a family that's understanding, or people around you that are understanding, you know, they're gonna get tired of that. And I feel like that's not something that you should live with long term, just because I feel like a car that nice, it should really be taken care of. But if you're gonna treat it like you're gonna drive it every day, I think there's a little bit of, you know, just like shitbox that you need in that car. And I feel like the Corolla has a nice, unique blend of a very great performance car, a very reliable car, and at the same time, it's not the nicest inside. Like they paid attention to the nice parts, the driver's seat, the passenger seat, the steering wheel, you know, all the things that you touch every day, the shift knob, you know, the shifter area, like it's that those all of those things are nice. The back seats are, you know, like they're whatever, they're just back seats. The door panels, they're just door panels, you know, like the things that other people, or dogs, pets, things like that, like other things are going to be on, like those things, you could tell that they were kind of intentional when they kind of cheaped out on those things, just because like I think they realized that people are going to buy this car, people are going to drive them, you know, 200 300,000 miles, and you know, black interiors just don't stain as easy as, you know, your normal red interiors do, or they won't fade as fast. You know, if you get them dirty, they're not gonna, you know, they're not as unforgiving, I guess. That's a simple way to put it. That's a point of view I feel like maybe not a lot of people are thinking of when it comes to daily drivers. And I feel like that's something that the GR Corolla definitely is kind of, it's that nice middle ground where it is what it is. Like, yeah, it's a $40,000 car, but at the same time, like, it's really, you could just tell that everything that's inside of it, it's very well built. It's going to be incredibly durable. It's going to last you the test of time. You're not going to be out there, you know, trying to replace seats, trying to replace carpets. You know, like, you're just going to be able to just enjoy it, put a crap ton of miles, take it on your road trips, you know, like, they're even making them automatic now, you know, which is crazy. Like, I honestly didn't think that that was going to be in their cards, like making them automatic. I mean, I guess it kind of reaches a higher, bigger market, or more people could really enjoy the car, which might be good for like aftermarket potential. Like, people are going to start, you know, like all the non-manual drivers are going to start driving those cars and really fall in love, you know. And then that's something else that might make it an even better daily driver if you don't even have to shift through gears in traffic, you know, like those things. I think at this point, going into 2025, you know, I think the Corolla as a performance daily driver, as a track slash daily driver, a do-it-all car, you're one and done, you know, something that's going to have room for 3 kids. You know, if you have 4 kids, then, you know, don't even look at that car anymore, I guess, you know. But I think as you're one and done, you know, you have space to grow. If you only have 1 kid, you know, you got things, you know, you got, if you're thinking long term, like what you're going to own for the next 4 to 5 years, and you're going to put 200, 300, 400,000 miles on the car, I think the Corolla is the way to go. I think it offers something that's very unique to this market these days, because it kind of, it's weird. You get into the car, it doesn't feel dated, but it definitely feels like by next year is going to be a little bit dated. So, you know, but that comes with its own nice things too. Like, yeah, it's not the top of the line, it's not ahead of its time, but it's very good quality, and it's going to hold up. And I think that's the most important thing when it comes to a daily driver. You got to remember, like, as your everyday car, you know, what you're going to be spending, you know, for maintenance, what you're going to be spending on upkeep, what you're going to be spending on gas. Like, all of those things are important to consider, because those are the things that really eat up on your paychecks that we all work so hard to get. And I feel like this car is definitely that happy middle where you're never going to sacrifice on performance. You're going to keep up with the STIs, you're going to keep up with the Type Rs, you're going to keep up with the Golf Rs, you're going to keep up with the Evos. You know, you're going to keep up with all of those cars, but you're also going to be taken care of in the long haul. You know, let's not get into the warranty, because the warranty is the whole thing. I know you guys are all going to comment that stuff, and I feel like it's very true, but you know what? I'm going to keep this one where it is now. I hope you guys enjoy the video. This one doesn't really have too much switches. It's just pretty straight to the point. Is it good? Do I recommend it? 100%. Is it the best daily driver on the market going into 2025? I think so. I don't see how it can be, you know, but maybe I'm a little biased. I mean, I own the car, you know, but it's my daily driver, but I love it. So anyways, I'll see you guys on the next one. I hope you guys enjoy. If you guys made it this far, what are you guys doing? Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.